Freddie Coleman joins us here on the Friday show. Freddie and Vince, you hear them weekdays, weeknights, 9 p.m. Eastern till 1 a.m. Love them on my way home. And Freddie, we love every Friday morning here on Big Board Sports on 104.5 A Team, ESPN Radio in Albany, New York. Good morning to you, Freddie.
Good morning, my friend. How's everything today?
Good, my friend. We're doing well. I mean, I love I like last weekend, some incredible games. That Minnesota finish will be one that we will remember forever. And now it's on to Championship Sunday. And I guess we're just trying to figure out, we won't have an answer, probably not until kickoff, the extent of the injury to Tom Brady.
Yeah, because this will be like a Zapruder film, to be honest with you, trying to analyze so many different things. How injured is he and how effective is he going to be or not going to be? I think the one thing that has really surprised me about this whole situation, Roger, is that the New England Patriots have been notorious for not allowing stuff to get out. They're usually good at keeping stuff in-house. The fact that they've had the leak with the Seth Wickersham story with the ESPN, the magazine article, and now this getting out, what's going on with the FBI known as the New England Patriots. But if you're Tom Brady, you know he's going to be out there. You know he's going to do everything he can to be effective. But that first hit on that thumb, then we'll see exactly how injured or not injured that thumb is, because he will get hit on that thumb by that Jacksonville defense.
No doubt about it. You give Jacksonville a legitimate chance, Freddie, to go into Foxborough. And maybe Brady's not 100%, but even if he's not, maybe a little less than 100. Do you give Jacksonville a chance to win this game flat out?
You always hear the term, Roger, they have to play the perfect game, and I don't know if they need to play the perfect game on defense, but they're going to need the perfect game from their quarterback in Blake Bortles. Now, I will say this. If he plays like he did last week and the defense can generate some points like they were able to do against Pittsburgh, then they stand a puncher's chance. But when you have a guy going for history, and I'm not just talking about Tom Brady, I'm talking about Bill Belichick, you do not want to have one of your championship losses at the hands of the Jacksonville Jaguars with Blake Bortles as their quarterback. So Jacksonville's defense is going to have to play that perfect game. Blake Bortles has to play a perfect game and not screw it up. But that's asking a lot for a team their first time in this kind of spotlight situation, trying to go on the road and win against Tom Brady and injure Tom Brady and the New England Patriots.
Freddie, the other game in Minnesota and Philly again as underdogs. In this game, Minnesota pulls out the miracle last week. I still can't believe how that was able to come down. And Case Keenum has played himself right back into making a whole heck of a lot of money next year. How do you see this game playing out, and who do you think represents the NFC in the Super Bowl?
Well, the one thing I'm going to concern myself with the Minnesota Vikings is that when you have that kind of ending, the way you were able to generate that, that's all that they have heard ever since Sunday night. So if you're Mike Zimmer, the head coach, you have to really make sure that their bodies are not just in Philadelphia, that their minds have to be there, and I feel confident that he's going to do that. This game is going to come down to which defense can impose their will on the opposing offense. Now, Minnesota is not going to do what Atlanta did last week. They are going to be able to score in the red zone and score touchdowns. I think the way they were able to play last week, but Minnesota's defense is so much better than Atlanta. Minnesota has that confidence going into this game on both sides of the football. I think they find a way to get it done, leave Philadelphia in their woe and sorrow in their beer on Sunday night, and I think they find a way to get to the Super Bowl and win the NFC Championship.
So the host site, the host team will be in it. So you've got barring the unforeseen, you've got Minnesota and New England in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, because it's never happened, and this is uncharted territory where a team will have that chance to play on their home field, which means that will give the New England Patriots another thing to rally around and prove the naysayers and doubters wrong, that they can't win in that environment. But I just can't see Jacksonville, even with the ninja Tom Brady, beating him on the road. And even though Philadelphia's going to play tough, and I think they'll run the ball a little bit better than they did last week, where Nick Foles won't have to make as many plays. I just think top to bottom, Minnesota is a better football team, especially with Carson Wentz not being the quarterback for Philadelphia in this game.
Freddie, we try to localize as much as possible, and New England is a regional team of interest and gets a lot of play here in the 5-1-8. But this year, and last year to a certain extent, but even more so this year, Deion Lewis, the Albany product, has really been a factor for this New England Patriots team. What have you seen and liked from Deion Lewis, and do you think he'll be a big factor the rest of the way?
Well, he'll be a big factor because, remember, Jacksonville was number 21 in rush defense in the regular season, which leads me to an eye-boggling situation why Pittsburgh did not run the ball earlier when they did have a chance to do that last week against Jacksonville. But Deion Lewis, everyone looks at him and sees this scat back that can make plays outside, but he's also a really tough inside runner. A lot of his big runs have happened when he gets to the second level running inside plays, and then he's able to bounce it outside. He's not just looking to bounce it outside when he first touches the football. So when you now have a running attack, whether it's him, also remember that James White is back in their lineup. Rex Burkhead is going to play a lot more than we saw last week when he was left on the list of not playing for that game against the Tennessee Titans. Now you have three running backs that are interchangeable that can do different things and help out the offense, where they can catch the ball in the backfield. But that inside running game, the Patriots' run the offense has been really good lately. Deion Lewis has been a really big part of that, so keep an eye on that if they're able to do that. Now Jacksonville has to really worry about that, and that leaves more one-on-one coverage for Brady to exploit, whether it's Gronkowski, a tight end, or the wide receivers.
Freddie Coleman joining us. You can hear him every night, Freddie and Fitz, here on 104.5 The Team. Freddie, now Mel Kiper Jr.'s mock draft 1.0 came out, and he says the Giants are going to take UCLA's Josh Rosen. Now, are you going to be shocked, whether it's Josh Rosen, Sam Darnold, or any one of these quarterbacks, if the Giants were to go elsewhere, like a Saquon Barkley or any other position other than quarterback?
The only way you would go to a different position that high in the draft at quarterback would be offensive line, because they need that. But when you have a chance to have a guy that can change your franchise and be the next guy after Eli Manning, there's no other reason to take a different guy at a different position. You have to take a quarterback. Now, it depends on their belief. Do they believe if Josh Rosen is the guy, then you draft him. If they believe that Sam Darnold of USC is the guy, you draft him. If Josh Allen falls to at number 2, then you draft him. But you can't just have half of the organization saying, we need this, the other half saying, we need that. And I think that's why it was really key that they hired Dave Gettleman, because Dave Gettleman is going to make that final decision. But as important, he's going to make sure that everybody is on board with that final decision. This is not going to be one guy saying this and everybody else saying that. It's going to be, look, this is the guy we're going to draft. I don't want to hear any nonsense from everybody else. And everybody else is going to shake their head and say, yes, that's the guy we're going to draft. So I think there's no question they're going to take a quarterback, and it seems likely that it's going to be Josh Rosen, because if Josh Allen goes number 1 to Cleveland, then Josh Rosen is going to go number 2 to the New York Giants. But Dave Gettleman is going to make it very clear very early, this is our plan of action. This is who we're going to go after, because we believe this is the guy that we can build around, and that guy's going to be that quarterback that they're going to take at number 2.
Well said, as always, Freddie Coleman, every Friday with us here on Big Board Sports. And after this Sunday, we will know the two teams that will be ready to go in the Super Bowl in Minneapolis. Freddie, have a fun Sunday. I hope you are able to block out the time, right, and hang out and watch both games, start to finish.
Oh, believe me, I'd have nothing going on from 3 o'clock Eastern time until 10:30 on Sunday night, so I'm good with that, believe me, my friend.
There you go, my friend. Always a pleasure. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Freddie.
Absolutely. Have a good weekend, guys.
Thank you, Freddie. Appreciate it.